Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Coach Sutton, Coach Brown, we're hanging out. So let's get into it. Wait a minute. I said the live stream could not be found. Let me make sure we're streaming on the platform that we meant to stream on. It just said Jason Brown could not be found. Come on, man.
The universe is. I think Disney got into our media feed, and they're like, you know what? We don't want anybody talking crap about us. We're just going to shut down the whole.
Yeah, we're supposed to be streaming on both platforms. But let me just make sure. But if you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be talking about Disney, and hopefully it's streaming to both channels, the Brown Report, Power Trades University. If it's not, no worries. We just go ahead and break it down. But I do see some thumbs up. I do see some pictures flying in. So let me just confirm. Are we live on the YouTube channel? I think we are. But if we're not, we just gotta make sure. All right. All right, I think we good. Are we good? Are we live? Oh yeah, we live. All right. Maybe we're not live on the other channel, but all right. We live.
The important people are here.
Look, it took a minute to get here, but I think we there. All right. I see Warden in the building, Donnie Breeze, Michael Anthony's in the building, R. Powell. Welcome to the party, ladies and gentlemen. And we still got Maria down here at the bottom somehow magically. So she's gone. All right, so let's get into it, man. We're talking about Disney. Should you buy at the 52-week low? Got my good man, Coach Sutton here. Sutton, should we dive into the technicals?
Yeah, you know, there's several things that are hot right now with Disney, and let's start with the picture.
All right, let's do it. My good man. It's kind of good to have a co-pilot riding with you, you know?
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
Right answer.
Like, I'm riding shotgun. All right, so let's go. That was my YouTube screen. I was making sure we was live. All right. So let's take a look at the good boys at Disney here. Mickey, Minnie, the whole crew. All right. Frozen, the whole franchise. ESPN. One thing I know about stocks is this. When you look at this chart, this is what a downtrend looks like, my friend. All right. So it's at the 52-week low. The question is it time to buy Disney's? Because people look at 52-week lows, 52-week highs. Simple math. If it's 52 weeks, that means it's been a year. It's 52 weeks in a year. So it is at the low of the year. And if you look, stock keeps running up, hitting his head, hitting his head, hitting his head. He even hit his head down here more recently and continued to sell off. Now, if you back the chart up, it doesn't get any prettier, right? If we back the charts up, we can go all the way back, something like that. And you can see where this thing has been in a downtrend for a while. Even if we kind of adjust it up a little bit to hit those points, you can see this has been downtrending for a while. Didn't quite get back up. So it all depends on how we move the line. But the big picture, is it in the winner's circle? This is the winner's circle. If you never heard me do this before, this is the winner's circle. And it's kind of like hockey. This is the penalty box down here in this corner. All right. So a real easy way to ask yourself, how is Disney doing? Is it in the winner's circle or the penalty box? It's in the penalty box, baby. So from that standpoint, it's in the downtrend. I'm not a big fan of it, but let's zoom out a little bit. Before we go zoom out, let's do some quick math. I mean, this is all the way back to 2021. We're in 2023. So this means for the last 2 years, 2.5, because we're in August of 2023. So all of 2021, all of 2022, because that was January 21. So all of 21, all of 2022, and now 8 months into 2023, you basically put about $200 up and it's now worth $80. That's a 50% decrease in this stock. Now, I can see why you're like, is it time to buy it? Because how much lower can it fall? Well, let's zoom out, look at a couple things, and then we'll bring in some fundamentals. But from a technical standpoint, it's actually sitting at a pretty interesting point in time. Because if you look at it from this kind of standpoint, you can really see that this has been a point of support way back in 2014. It's been some support 2020. And the question is this going to hold as support over here in 2023? So we're at a really important inflection point, which is why I can see why people are saying, is it time to buy Disney down here at this longer term support level? But the overall trend still down. I'm not a fan of going bullish in the down market. However, Coach Sutton, I'm sure you can speak to this as well. They do have a core business, right? I mean, it's not like we're going to stop. Like Mickey Mouse is a staple. Minnie Mouse is a staple. Frozen is embedded in the new generation of kids' brain. Frozen 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, whichever version they own. So there is somewhat of a floor. And I actually don't know a better place than ESPN to get your sports, which is also owned by Disney. However, that still doesn't equate to the stock making money. So what's your thoughts?
Perfect. So as you mentioned, Disney is a large media conglomerate company.
You come in so smooth and relaxed. Perfect. So Disney. No, I was just all right. Talk to the people.
Yeah, they're a machine. Like between Disney Plus, ESPN, their movies, the parks, like they're in everything. But there are some significant headwinds that can't be ignored from a fundamental perspective. Their movies have been dogs. They haven't had a big blockbuster in a couple of years now.
Right.
Now you're adding a writer's strike. And Jay, I don't know if I'm hearing a little echo. I don't know if it's coming in on your end.
Yeah, I'm hearing the echo too. Oh, you know what? Here, I'm not sure how I can fix that. I hear you clear, but you're right. There's a little bit of echo. Let me see here. If I mute you, go ahead and say something. Okay, but then I just muted you. Now I unmute you. Now I wonder if the echoes you're hearing is because you're in the basement, like we're in the studio and we can hear each other, or is it coming through on your computer?
Yeah.
Oh, they said they're getting feedback from Sutton. There's an echo when Sutton speaks. Huh. All right, hold on. Everybody, take a look at this chart.
There should be some good music, some. Yeah, we're doing it.
Boom.
So now I'm talking. I don't hear the background.
We're in the same studio now. Oh, you don't hear that?
Now I don't hear it.
You don't? All right. You got the echo. Yeah.
It's not echoing now.
It's not? All right.
Is it picking up on one of your microphones? Like if you have multiple microphones, like one's on a computer or one's on...
No, just one. All right, we're back. I busted in his studio. I think we're good. Let me know in the comments. Can y'all hear an echo? Can you see the comment? Can y'all hear an echo right here, right now? You can't even see the comments, bro. Unless I pull them up. All right, let us know.
All right, because it's coming in. I don't hear the echo anymore, so we're good.
All right, sometimes when you're in the live studio audience, hey, you got to go and improvise. We got to make it happen.
Cool.
All right, so how's it sound now?
It's sounding good on my end now.
It sounds good on my end too.
All right. So we were talking about the fundamentals, right? Huge media conglomerate, but their movies they haven't had a big hit in a while. Some of the other challenges with the parks, right? They started to Ratchet, not just Ratchet, they started charging for everything. And I know they've got their magic bands, but it's like, oh, if you don't have the golden mouse here, fast pass, like you're just sitting in a hot Florida day, not getting on any rides. And so they started charging a lot more and kind of price them out. So their park attendance is down. Another challenge from a fundamental perspective is the challenge with all the different streaming services. Like we used to just get a cable package, but now I've got to pay for my Netflix. I've got my HBO Max. I've got Peacock. I've got Paramount. I've got Disney Plus. And now people are really getting to that saturation, fatigue. You put a $15 charge on each one of those, all of a sudden you're up to $110 a month going out in streaming fees. So they pushed hard in pushing out a lot of content on Disney Plus. They signed up a bunch of people, kind of that customer acquisition. It was a loss leader. They were hemorrhaging money, and actually there's a lawsuit now coming from news and fundamentals where some of the investors are like, hey, you guys were not transparent on the amount of money you were burning through on Disney Plus, and you should have had that accounted for properly. So they've got some challenges there. So fundamentally, there's a reason. And then the transit, oh my gosh, from a management perspective, come on, Bob Iger, the transition was an absolute mess. I mean, it's like, oh, I'm going to retire, but I'm still going to keep my fancy office and I'll just kind of be, on the board and I'll leave you. Man, he never left the building. And so then you've got this conflict at the top of the house. And if that's not running smooth, everything underneath is confused. Like who's in charge here? So then you've got a management challenge fundamentally. They're struggling with their subscriptions. They're struggling at the parks. They're struggling with their movies. It's like, and the stock price is reflecting it. So fundamentally, massive headwinds, and that's showing out here.
That's what's up. Some people said they're still getting an echo. Listen, I don't, I think this is one of those cases where technology is just acting a fool today. But I think it's only if I switch to you on the camera when I put it side by side. Say something now. I don't hear an echo. Do you?
I don't hear. No, I was hearing it before, but right now I'm not.
Yeah. So Tim says he's still getting the echo. Maybe I'll just stay on this view, and but hey, that's how it is. We're live streaming. Technology is sometimes not our friend. Mike Wolf says, "Don't sweat it, just continue." That's what I'm talking about, Mike. Mike says, "Don't sweat it, just continue." Robert says, "There's an echo." All right. Well, sorry. You'll hear it twice, which means you'll really understand what we're saying. So this is the echo's not that bad. Here's what I'm gonna try doing. Kosa, you talk. I'll mute myself, and then we'll see if it works normal. Right. So Iger never left the building. He should have. He didn't. What do we do? What do we do from here?
Cool. So one of the big things from the initial premise of this conversation was, is it a time to buy at Disney at a discount? Because if you loved it, as you said, they're not going out of business. They're in a downturn. My challenge right now is really understanding what your time horizon is. So other people were buying Disney, and that was 2014. And if they bought and held, they're sitting at the same spot. Heaven forbid you put in inflation into that calculation. So I'm long term, yeah, it has some upside. It's been there before. I'm not ready to go bullish on Disney because of technically it's in a downtrend. Fundamentally, it has massive headwinds that they have not sorted out yet. And then in the news, you add a little gasoline to this. Their battles with Florida and DeSantis and some of the sweetheart legal privileges they had when they set up Disney World have gotten some big heat. But then the next question might be, are you ready to go bearish on it? How low does this thing go? And I'm not ready to go bearish on it, because if you look at how much it has dropped in recent history, that's a big drop. I believe it's going to flatten out a bit. The selling pressure is going to let up. But it's not ready to go bullish, not ready to go bearish. I'm sitting on the sidelines right now with Disney.
There it is. So I had a second camera plugged in, and I think that camera actually has a mic on it. I forgot about that. So I wonder if that was picking up the feedback. So we'll see. Because when I muted myself, they said they didn't. They didn't hear the feedback. All right. So I like the analysis, right? Number one, it's in a downtrend. Technically, not a big fan of it. Number two, leadership kind of messy. No big blockbuster hits. Bob Iger didn't really leave. He kind of left, kind of kept his finger on the pulse of the business. Stock is down over 50% in the last 3 years. So you basically not only lost money, but you lost time and opportunity because that money could have been working in another opportunity. I think you leave this. I think you leave this stock in the. I think you leave the stock in the trash, but you don't throw the trash away because even a garbage can gets a steak. You see what I'm saying? If a garbage can is sitting in the back of the right restaurant, somebody ordered the wrong steak, they got to throw it away. So even a garbage can gets a steak. So I wouldn't just toss it out, but I would leave it in the garbage. I wouldn't go dumpster diving for this and saying, ooh, a steak that nobody wanted, because that's kind of what the stock is right now. It's like a piece of steak that nobody wanted. Nevertheless, it's still a good piece of meat for somebody else, at least right now. So, I think too, you brought up time frame. When you look at, are you trading or are you investing? If you're investing, saying, okay, Disney cruises, Disney movies, Disney theme parks, it has a bottom somewhere. I don't know if we've hit that bottom, but it does have a bottom valuation somewhere. But if you're investing, you're like, I'm betting on the turnaround. I'm betting on the next movie to come out. I am betting that at some point things are going to get better. They're going to figure it out. ESPN is the future, whatever the case may be. That's more investing, and you're willing to park your money in a stock that has been declining in hopes that it turns around. And to me, that's not even really a good investment strategy.
So a comparison I think would really shine this up is if the entire market had been sliding and Disney was just a big component and had a me too, or, like kind of went with the flow and was also going down with the overall market, then, hey, we'd have a story like it's not just them. But the overall market has been going up. There have been some really hot spots in technology and semiconductors and all these other areas that have been moving really nicely up. So I only have so much time, so much money, so many resources to put in to investing and trading. And it really comes down to a stacked comparison. I have to put Disney up against a Microsoft. I have to put Disney up against an AMD. I have to put Disney. And so you're like, well, which one is in that winner's circle and which one's in the penalty box? And I don't want to be the one that's like, my small position is Disney is not going to change their fortunes because, I'm investing in it. Like, they don't need my money and I'm not willing to park my money there. I'm going to go find somebody in that winner's circle and go find the hot ones, not the ones that are, the underdog right now that needs my investment.
There it is. It's funny, man. I got to mute and unmute myself. This is killing me. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We go figure this out. But for now, we're getting ready to wrap this up. We just want to come live and answer the question, is it time to buy Disney at the 52-week low? I think from a technical standpoint, the answer is no, not right now. From a fundamental standpoint, Coach Sutton, what do you say?
Hit one of those sound effects, Jason. And say, no, fundamentally, we got some challenges. And then from a news perspective, with the writer strikes, their lawsuits and, Florida and everything else, like the news just isn't helping them out right now.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. In a nutshell, save your money. There are better stocks out there. You want to know what those better stocks are? Make sure you join us on our Monday night coaching session, or you join us live at our live session that we're hosting in Metro Detroit. But for right now, Disney in the doghouse. Save your money. Don't go investing or trading in a stock that's in a long-term decline, as well as facing some short-term fundamental issues. Just don't do it. And figure out how to fix your mic. Maybe Disney was hating on us and it was like it didn't want our mic to come through clear. So like it sprinkled a little like magical dust in my audio. But that's all right. We still got through it. All right. We'll see y'all on the next one.